Filming from GenCon 2016, here's Mark Arnaudo. I am at the booth of Fantasy Flight Games with Ivan, who has agreed to tell us about Runewars miniatures game, one of the most exciting new games that are being presented here. Thank you, Ivan.
Yeah, definitely. So, as I said, I'm Evan Johnson. I work for Fantasy Flight Games, and here is Runewars, the miniatures game. This is one of the first true miniatures game that we just announced. We've had other miniatures games before, but this one, the figures come unpainted. It's rank and file combat on the field of battle. You have these large groups of figures moving back and forth and clashing, and it's extremely exciting. So let me just go ahead and show you kind of how it all works. So this is basically what comes in the core set, all of the figures that you can see here. They're split into two sides. On this side you have the Decon Lords, the humans, and on this side you have the legions of Wykar, the Undying, the Undead, basically. The heart of the game, at the beginning of each round, you're going to choose actions for all of your figures using these command tools, which have these two dials. Each figure, or each type of unit, has a completely unique command tool. So the choices that you can make for different units are very different from time to time. Basically, on the left dial, you choose an action for your unit, and that could be you're going to march straight ahead, you're going to reform and pivot on your center, you're going to like shift backwards or to the side, you're going to make a ranged attack or a melee attack or any kind of other action. You'll also, on the right-hand dial, choose a modifier for that action. And these modifiers, they have to match in color, but they can give you a lot of options. So for instance, you might want to make a ranged attack. You could choose to deal more damage with this attack, or to gain these surges to help you trigger special abilities. So it really lets you kind of tailor that for whatever you want to do. Alternatively, for instance, you could be marching forwards and you could change that into a slight bank maneuver or a hard turn. The way that movement works is very, very cool. When you reveal a movement like this, so this is, a hard turn to one side. You grab the matching maneuver template, just like so. You line it up with the corner like that, and then you just move the figure along it like so. And so it's just very, very fluid, very simple. If you've ever played X-Wing, it's a lot like that.
Yeah.
So the figures are all based in these trays. As you take damage, you'll just remove figures from them just like that. And then once the tray is gone, you'll remove the tray. Having larger units does give lots of advantages. The wider your unit is, the more damage every hit does to your enemy. The deeper your unit is, the more rerolls you get to try and get those awesome hits. Your goal is you can win just by destroying the enemy army, which you're going to be rolling all these attack dice to deal damage or surges or panic the enemy. But there are also objectives that are assigned at the beginning of the game, and you can score points by completing those. It might be holding a specific zone, killing one of your opponent's specific units, and so on and so forth. There's all kinds of different units, as you can see. You have these huge siege units like this Carry-On Lancer right here, and some of these figures look extremely cool. This guy is one of my favorites. Things like that. So there's different ways that with combos. But there's a ton of customization in exactly how you choose to build your army. You can modify the shape and size of these units. You can give them various upgrades, like you could give them better armor or terrifying heraldry or all kinds of different things. And then with the command tools, there's so much replayability in just how you combine the action and the modifier and what exactly you want to do. And the other thing about these command tools that's extremely cool is that they this white number here is an initiative number, and so that determines where you go in the turn order. It's super dynamic and also lets you kind of you have to try and guess what your opponent is going to do. Like I might want to move forwards and I might want to charge, but I can't do that until 5 initiative. If I want to go at round 4, then maybe I won't be going far enough to actually hit to them. So there's a lot of room for play and for strategy there.
And here you have cards with unique abilities of the troops.
Exactly. So the cards for each thing, they have a couple of stats on them. This white shield, that's how much damage it takes to cause a single hit. For these reanimate archers, just 1 damage equals 1 hit. The red number number there, or the number on the red, is how much damage it takes to kill a figure. So basically, the archers, you know, they're pretty small. Just one hit kills one guy. They also have the dice that they roll for, you know, ranged attack and melee attack, as well as any special abilities that they might have. For instance, these archers can blight their opponents and make them, you know, kind of poisoned. They're also steadfast against a lot of the effects in the morale deck, you know, because they're undead and they aren't affected by a lot of that stuff. So that's basically how that all works. It's an extremely epic game. The games are fairly fast-paced, you know, about 90 minutes is a full-length game.
So that's very important. For many players of miniature games, one of the problems that they have is that some of the sets of rules out there take like 5-6 hours to play a single battle. So it's good to have something that moves fast and doesn't overstay its welcome.
Exactly. With this, what we want to do is take out all the parts of miniatures games that players don't enjoy, the waiting for your opponent to take his turn, and the measuring and all of that, all the things that just take way too much time. We want to cut all that out and make a really sleek and elegant miniatures game.
Yeah, I like it. I'm very excited because I see concepts that I'm familiar with and that I like, you know, like the X-Wing concept here, some things from Battle Lore, but they seem to have been put together in a quite original, inventive way, so I'm really excited to try in this game. This is Runewars being presented, Runewars the miniatures game, being presented here at GenCon 2016. Thank you so much.
Thank you.